Shubhanshu, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Shubhanshu. This is Vishal Vadera.
Yeah.
Shubhanshu, let's have a small introduction before we get into the details of our curriculum. What do you do, buddy?
Oh. I have just given the 12th exam.
You've just
Given 12th exam.
given what? You're not sounding very clear.
12th exam.
Okay, class 12 exams. That's great. And
Yes.
where are you putting up?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I am from Bihar.
That's great. That's great. So, Shubhanshu, any previous knowledge of programming you have?
Yes, I have studied core Java in class 10th ICSE.
Class 10, yes, class 10th ICSE has Java. Perfect. I know about that. So, well, that's great. Means you're entering into advanced Java. Having good knowledge of Java core is a prerequisite. You must know that. So it's good if you know that. Now, well, let me introduce myself, Shubhanshu. This is Vishal Vadera, and I'm a Java trainer plus a Java consultant for the last 16 years. Last 16 years of my life, they've been totally about Java. I started my career as a developer in 2001. And along with that, even before that, in fact, I was working as a trainer. Means the institute where I was learning, I was also a trainer over there. So I used to do part-time classes, then I went into a full-time. And then yes, all these years, now I have a small company of mine where I'm doing Java development. Means basically I'm into Java and Android totally. So means last 16 years they've been all about Java. So be assured you'll be taken to the highest level of Java training, and yes, you will learn everything that is used in the contemporary times. Okay. The best technologies, best things, they are available, because reason I tell you why I'm saying that you'll learn everything contemporary, because I'm basically a corporate trainer. Most of the clients that I get, they are working professionals from different companies. So my curriculum is designed in such a way that the curriculum is best meant for any working professional. Means I normally get candidates like you who are already working in testing profile, or let's say who are working in database profile. But if you talk of today, 90%, 95% of the IT professionals today, they want to switch into Java. Means just 1 hour before I was with some candidates. They are from US. So they are working professionals and they're working in Oracle database for last 20 years. And now they are planning to switch into Java if they want to survive in the industry. So they are learning Java from me. Now they are totally a newbie in Java. But yes, otherwise they have very good knowledge of technology. Okay. So my curriculum is devised in such a way that it takes you to the industry compatible level. I'll just share with you the curriculum that you're going to have. And in fact, I will also email this to you. I have a small PPT that explains everything about your curriculum. Now this contains Java core also. I'll discuss few things about Java core which you must be knowing if you want to enter into advanced. Now this is some simple concepts like JVM, JRE, JIT compiler, OOPS, all that. Then you've got JDBC. Do you know JDBC, Shubhanshu?
Java database connectivity.
Yes. You have some idea?
Yeah.
You know that. That's great. And do you have knowledge about SQL?
Sorry?
SQL.
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's great. That's perfect. So next is multi-threading. Then you've got Java IO generics and collections. Now that is another very important aspect that I'll be taking into use every day. Now, do you know what is collections API in Java? List, set, comparable, comparators, hash map, tree map, vector, hash table, properties, all these things.
No, sir.
Shubhanshu, are you aware of?
No, no, sir.
No. You said no or yes?
No.
No. Then my dear, I would advise, I think if you are comfortable in Java core, you don't need any support for learning these things. You just go through the collections in Java. Take any resource, you can have a book or you can go through internet. But yes, this is something that you're going to use in almost every application anytime. Means today you are a starter, tomorrow you'll be an expert programmer, but yes, every level you will need collections. Without collections, you can't go. Okay. Then comes socket programming, UI creation. They are not much required. But yes, this is your curriculum for Java Advanced now. Okay. It starts with web application basics. Then you move into the Eclipse IDE basics. How you use Eclipse for your Java Advanced development. Okay. Then you've got servlet programming. That's the first module in Java Advanced. It ends with the servlet filters and servlet listeners. Now once this is done, next is JSP. JSP is just another way of writing your servlets. The first thing you learned was servlets. Next is JSP. JSP is just, yes, again you're writing the servlet but in a much easier way. So it makes your job easier. And today if you ask any professional how he writes the code on the server side, he always writes that via JSP. Because JSP is again a servlet, but yes, easily written. Then you've got a very important design pattern called DAO factory. In fact, I'll be explaining DAO first and then DAO factory. I'll do that when I reach there. Now that's very important because in the advanced phases, you're going to use this DAO many a times. In fact, every day you'll be using that. Then you've got MVC design pattern. What is MVC about? Then what is web services? Well, web services are of two types, Shubhanshu. One is SOAP based, one is RESTful. So you'll be taken through both the types. SOAP based is the old obsolete one, which is now getting out of the market. But we can't say still it is out of the market because most of the companies who had their web services previously created. When I say previously, it was just 2 years. So all those services, they are in SOAP format. So the modern day means if today someone is creating his web services, he is doing that in RESTful way. So yes, there are two types, SOAP and RESTful, and you're going to learn both of these in very detail. Then comes Maven. Maven is basically a build framework for Java application. You'll learn that. Next is Hibernate. So you'll be taken into Hibernate, that is the ORM. You can say this is a replacement for JDBC. So you'll have a complete detailed discussion about this, and then Spring Framework. Finally, Spring Framework. Well, I can say, Shubhanshu, you are with me basically only for Spring Framework. All my previous contents that I'm going to train you on, they are targeted towards making you comfortable in Spring Framework. So yes, Spring is going to be the last thing that you learn with me. Now, normally that is the last thing, but I include certain more things after this, which we can't say they are part of Java, but yes, for any Java professional, they mean a lot. For example, Github integration with Eclipse. Yes, if you work in a corporate environment, you'll always be using either GitHub or SVN. Now, SVN is again obsolete. It's out of the market now. So everyone uses GitHub. Yes, I'll give you complete details about how to integrate GitHub with Eclipse. Then, create UML through code and code through UML. It means how to create a system design and then how to code that design. JUnit testing framework. Yes, it's a unit testing framework. JUnit. It's a part of Java. But yes, normally it's not a part of Java Advanced. But yes, I do keep it because every Java programmer has to include this. Then finally you have JMS framework. That is Java Messaging Service. So Shubhanshu, this completes your curriculum that you're going to, I'm going to train you on. Okay. Now, are you clear about this? Do you have anything to ask about any of the contents? You're free to ask. Otherwise, I'm moving on.
No, I don't have to ask anything.
That's great. That's perfect. So Shumashu, I'll be sharing this PPT with you. I'll remove my core curriculum for that. From this, I'll be sharing only this advanced curriculum with you. Now I'm starting with the first phase, that is web application basics. It discusses with you the basics of HTTP, then what is Tomcat server installation, external and internal, and then structure of Java web application and web.xml. Let's start with this, okay? Let's do that, buddy. Now, just one second. Yeah, Shumashu. Now, buddy, starting with Java Advanced means you're going to enter into web applications. Now, till date, whatever programming in Java you have done, when you did normal Java programs which run on the black screen, we call that it's a console application. So whatever output you got on the console, okay? Now that was console applications. Then you created AWT and Swing applications. You created the UI. Now that was desktop applications. But now you are entering in third phase. This is called client-server programming. Client-server means there is a server, and yes, there are multiple clients. The clients are going to ask for a service from the server. Yes, that's the meaning of a server. Server is not a hardware basically. I don't know how clear you are, but in my early days when I didn't know Java, I'm talking of year 1999 when I was learning Java, my trainer asked me, what is a server? My perception of a server was a computer, a hardware machine, a computer, which is a super capable computer. Yes, it has a big RAM, it has a big hard disk, it has multiple processors, it has great capacity. So yes, that was the server for me. Now I was rectified by my trainer. Server is not a hardware. Server is basically a software. The software running in a computer. So any computer which is running a software that is a server software, yes, that computer becomes a server. Now it's only the requirement that yes, if you want to cater to multiple clients, you must have a strong capacity yourself. Now obviously, buddy, let's say in the day I have to give trainings and provide supports to 20 different candidates, then I must be myself strong on the technology. If I'm not strong, how will I provide support and training to so many people? I can't do that. So that's why the server machine has to be a strong machine. But yes, if you say the server, that's a software inside. Now, in web applications, we talk about a server, then we say a web server. Yes, we have so many web servers available in market. Now, what is a web server? Let's define that. What is a web server? What is a web client? Well, web client is, my dear, your browser. You take any browser, Google Chrome, Mozilla, Internet Explorer, Opera, Safari, whatever. These all, they are what? They are clients. They are web clients. So if on the same computer, I'm using this computer, okay? Now on this computer, if I run Internet Explorer, Chrome and Mozilla simultaneously, so maybe it's the same person, it's the same computer, but still there are three different clients. Mozilla is a different client, Chrome is a different client, Internet Explorer is a different client. I can have any other browser, that will be a different client. So you understand one thing, the client is not the person, the client is not the computer, it's the browser which is the web client. Yes. Now, what is web server? Web server means any program. Yes, let me define web server in formal form. Any program which can listen to client requests and then respond to that. Now that's a web server. Now what type of requests and what type of responses? Let's understand that. Actually, whenever two things communicate, there is a protocol involved. Now, right now, Shumanshu, you and I, we are communicating. So there is a protocol involved. What is that protocol? Well, on the day one, today it is decided that, yes, this is the curriculum I'm going to train you on. Now, Shumanshu, you have all the right during these next 30 to 40 days that you can ask me anything related to this curriculum. You can take up your problems, you can discuss your assignments, you can discuss anything related to this. But you can't discuss with me how to cook something. No matter how good a cook I am, but you can't discuss that with me because that's not part of the system. It's not a part of the protocol. So yes, it is decided on day one what you can ask me, what you can expect from me. That is decided on day one. And even me, I'm bound, means I can respond to you in, means there is a protocol in what sense I can respond to you. I can respond to your queries, relevant queries. Secondly, I can ask you to do certain assignments, certain programs, certain projects, whatever means. Yes, I can ask these things, but I can't ask you to do some of my personal, let's say I have some assignments to write. I have some, let's say, any theory to write. I ask you to do that. No, that's not part of the protocol. I can't ask you to do that. I can ask you to do anything related to this particular training. Okay. So this is protocol. What client can ask, what server can respond. So even in web applications, the web client is restricted to ask only a few questions. And the web server is restricted to respond in a few formats. Now let's discuss those. What are the types of requests and responses? I have a small document to support this. Just watch this. Now buddy, at the top of screen you have written Java EE. Yes, when you do web programming in Java, we call that as Java EE, Java Enterprise Edition. Now you know very well what is a web server. I'll redefine that. A web server is a program which is capable of taking client requests. What type of request? What is the protocol involved? That is HTTP. Yes, the protocol involved is HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay. So HTTP defines what client can ask and what server can respond. Okay. So web server for me is a program which can listen to HTTP requests and send HTTP responses. Plus, one major responsibility. A web server should be capable of. Yes, Shubhanshu, do you have a query?
No.
You can stay muted. Whenever required, you have the right. You can anytime unmute yourself and ask any question. But as long as I am speaking, please stay muted. Now, buddy, I was discussing about web server. Web server is a program which can host web applications into itself. So yes, you will be using some web server. Now there are many different web servers to support Java applications. For example, the most major web server, the most prominent web server in industry is Tomcat web server. You will be using Tomcat very often. In fact, almost every day you will be using Tomcat. Then you've got WebLogic web server. It's again a great web server from, it's again means from parent companies Oracle. Tomcat is from Apache. You've got JBoss. JBoss is from IBM. Then you've got JRun. JRun is from JRun Corporation. You've got Glassfish web server. It's again a great web server. Glassfish is again from Oracle. So these are all different web servers. Now you install any of these servers on your machine, and what will happen is when you run that web server, it's capable of hosting a web application. So you will create an application. Let's say your application name is Shumanshu. Now you need to host that application in one of the servers that you have. Now when the application is hosted there, when the server is running, so any client can talk to your application. He can send a request and your application will respond to that. Shubhanshu, any queries related to whatever I explained just now?
No, sir.
Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Any problem with my communication, with my sound, with my clarity of my voice, anything?
No, sir.
That's great. Let's move on then. Please mute yourself. So buddy, this is web server, capable of taking requests, responding, and yes, hosting your application. Now, HTTP requests. What are the different request types? Well, there are 7 types of requests defined in HTTP specification. In fact, there is a eighth type now, that is patch request. That's the 8th type of request. Now, what is GET request? GET request is like, now suppose Shivanshu, I'm the web server, okay? You're a browser. I'm web server, so I'm hosting the application, and yes, I'm in active mode right now. I'm running, okay? Now, what does the application contain? Any web application, it contains web pages. It contains web pages plus images plus videos plus audios plus some scripting documents plus CSS documents, all that, okay? So any website you're interacting with, it contains all these things usually. Now, there are 2 types of web pages. One is static, one is dynamic. Now, today I see many authors, many trainers not having clarity about what is a dynamic web page. Static, they are clear. I'll explain what is static. Shubhanshu, you open aajtak.com. Now, Aajtak is a TV channel you and I, both of us, watch. Now, you turn on your television, you watch Aajtak, I watch Aajtak. Do we get different news? Are you listening to a different person and I'm listening to a different person? No. Now, same way, if you open aajtak.com and I open aajtak.com, we get the same page on display. We get the same news, we get the same images, we get the same videos. So that's a static website. Now, many authors, many even programmers, they will call that website as a dynamic website because according to them, any website that can interact with the user is dynamic. Nobody, no, that's incorrect. Interaction is different. It's an interactive web page. But dynamic web page is different. I'll give you an example of dynamic. You must be there on Facebook, okay? You open your Facebook account. I open my Facebook account. Do we get the same posts? No. This time it's not same. You're seeing a different set of posts from your friends, from your circle. I'm getting a different set of posts. Okay? Now this is dynamic. You open your Gmail account, I open my Gmail account. Do we get the same emails? No. They are totally different for you and me, for any 2 individuals in the world. Now this is dynamic. It means any web page which gets a different result for a different client. The result is specific for every client. Now that's a dynamic page which fetches your specific data from the database and shows that data to you. Now that's a web page, yes, which is showing the same data everywhere around. That's a static web page. I hope you're clear about what is static, what is dynamic. Okay. Interactive is different. Interactive means the page can respond. I take my mouse over an image, the image and difference between static, dynamic, and interactive?
Yes, sir.
You are clear. That's great. Let's move on now. Now, I'm a web server. I was giving an example, and I'm hosting an application. The application contains static as well as dynamic pages. Now, you're the client, okay? Now, I have 26 pages, A to Z. Some of them are dynamic, some of them are static. Now, Shumanshu says, Vishal, you have a page D. Send me that page D. I have A to Z, okay, 26 pages. You're asking me page D. I have that. Now, this is a GET request. Shumanshu, whenever the client asks for a particular page from the server, and the server, yes, he's delivering or not, that's a separate question. Now, because you're asking for a page, that's a GET request. So one thing is clear, in a GET request, the client can only send the specification of a page, that yes, this is what I want from you. That detail is called URL. URL means Uniform Resource Locator. I'll show you URL. What is that? Now this part here, this is the URL. So this URL I got from my client, okay? The client sent me this URL. In fact, I'm the client here, okay? I'm interacting with the Google server. I send this URL to the Google server, and Google server sends me this particular page in response. Now that's URL. That's a GET request. Okay. What's a POST request then? In a POST request, you normally submit a form. Not normally, in fact, always you submit a form. The only way to make a POST request is via form submission. For example, you go to Facebook website, okay? The very first page says your email ID or phone number and then your password. You put these two things, you say login. Now, when you press the button login, your user ID and password, they go to the Facebook server. And now the server authenticates you, whether the ID and password, they are correct or not. If they are correct, you're taken to the next page. So this is POST request. Try to get the difference, buddy. In GET request, you had a target page. You wanted to get that page. So you told me, Vishal, get me page D. I gave you that page. Now that page contains a form. You're filling that form. You're submitting that information. No, you're not asking for any page. You're only submitting your information. I'm getting your information. I will decide where to take you next. For example, if I'm creating if you're working on a banking application, let's suppose you work in a bank, okay? Now you're working on a banking application. The username and password, you send that to me. Now when I'm the web server, I look your username and password into the database. I come to know you are a cashier. So I will take you to the screen that is meant for a cashier. The screen will allow you to take cash from people, deposit cash into their accounts, means make payments to people. This is what a cashier does. So this is all that your screen will allow you, okay? Limitations about a cashier. Now let's say another person logs in. When I see his username password in my database, I come to know he's the branch manager. Now let's say he's credit manager. So he will come to know about what are the different credit schemes, what are the different loaning schemes, and then the screens, they will allow him to check whether a particular client, he can be given a loan or not. So all that will be on the screen of a credit manager. Now likewise, if you are a securities manager, so the securities you're taking from the people, the funds you're taking from the people, how they are managed, that will be on his screen. If you're a branch manager, you'll have all these options. You can check all these things, how different departments of your branch are working. Now what I mean to say, Shubhanshu, that based on your username and password, it is decided where to send you next. Now let's say your username and password are incorrect. You'll be sent nowhere. You'll remain on the same page. You'll get a message, invalid ID and password, please re-log in. So you will put your ID password again, and then you will again submit, again make a POST request. So try to get the difference. GET request, you asked for a page, you got that. POST request, you're submitting a form. You're not asking for anything. In fact, you're submitting your information to the server. Server will decide where to send you next. It means, Shubhanshu, the post request takes your form data packed into itself. That's true. The post request, you can say that the post request carries a bag with itself. In that bag, it will contain all the contents that you put into the form. Whatever you put into the form, it's packed in the body of that post request, and then that request is sent to the server. The GET request never has a body. The GET request does not have a way to take your information to the server. It can only ask for a page. Post request takes your information to the server. The next one, put request. Well, as a normal user, you can't make a put request. There is no way that I can create a web page that allows you click a button and you're making a put request. No, you can't do that. Put requests are basically meant for programmers. I'll explain you what. You'll be learning very soon. Very soon means in the next, I think, around 18th to 20th lecture. Not 18th to 20th. In fact, around 15th lecture, you'll be learning about RESTful web services. Now, what is RESTful web service? RESTful web service allows you all these different types of requests. So what it does is, it makes every type of request parallel to one of the CRUD operations. You know what is a CRUD operation? C-R-U-D, CRUD. You know SQL. SQL allows you select query, insert query, delete query, update query. Now, CRUD operations means C. C stands for create. Create means inserting something. So the insert operation is create. R stands for read. Reading something means select query. You're reading the data. U stands for update. So yes, the update operation. D stands for delete. Delete operation. So the select, insert, delete, update, they are put parallel to these four types of requests. Get request means a select query. Post request means a insert query. Put request means a update query. Delete request means a delete query. Now this is, I'm talking from perspective of RESTful web services. Don't go into much details about this, because you'll be getting deep details when you move into RESTful services. But right now, put request, as a web page creator, I can't make a put request. But yes, as a programmer, I will allow my program to make a put request, and the server will respond to that. Put request normally means uploading, means putting an object from the client to the server. Delete request means deleting an object from the server which was previously put. Yes, that's a delete request. Next is head request. What is head request? Shubhanshu, this is very important. You know these specifications of HTTP, because now onwards, the next whatever number of days we are together, you'll get the detail. Now, all these days you'll be working with HTTP. So if you don't know the details about this, you're not on the right platform. So what is head request? Head is same as a get request. Actually, Shubhanshu, when you make a request, it's not just your request that is going. Along with request, some extra information is sent to the server. And I'm the server. When you're making your request, along with that request, you're sending me some more information. For example, which browser you're using. Now that's called user agent. So such extra information that you're sending to me, that comes to me in the form of headers. A header is something like this. Author is equal to Vishal Vadera. Now this is a header. One header means a key value pair. Now this pair of key and value, that makes one header. So when you send your request to me, your request is accompanied by many such headers. One of the headers tells me which browser you're using. The second header tells me which protocol you're making requests through. The third header tells me what is the type of content that you are requesting me. Are you requesting me a JPG or a PDF or a HTML page? What type of data? Okay. Then another request tells me, are you sending me some cookies along with that? Another request lets me know which time zone you're working from. Are you working from USA or Australia or India? Now USA has so many time zones, 5 or 6 different time zones. India has only one, IST. Okay, so your time zone will be conveyed to me. Your locale settings, it means which locale setting that contains so many things like your means locale object basically contains which locality, means which exact location you are referring from, your IP address. Now all these things, they come to me in these headers. Now when I get your request, along with that I get these headers. Now these headers are the extra information. Now likewise, very similar, when I respond to you, I also send you some extra headers. Apart from my response, the response is always there, whatever you're asking. Along with that, some extra headers. The first header from me to you will be, what is the status of my response? Now these are the different status possible. If my status is 200, that means a success. If it is 302, that means a redirection. If it is 404, that means a client error, your invalid request. If it is 503, it's an exception on the server. If it's 100, it's information that I want to give you. So there are, means the very first header will tell you what is the type of response. The second header will tell you which web server did you interact with. Did you talk to Tomcat? Did you talk to JRun? Did you talk to JBoss? So which web server has responded? That will be the next header. Another header would be which port number. Yes, every server has a service number. We call that as a port number. So you'll get the port number of that server. Another would be which protocol. Yes, the server is responding to you in some protocol. Now which protocol he's using. So this extra information is sent to you from the server in the form of headers. And you also send extra information to the server apart from your request in the form of headers. So both the request and response, they contain headers. Now when you make a head request, head and get, they are same. In get request, you said, Vishal, give me page D. I sent you the page D, along with that some headers. Now when you make a head request, Vishal, give me the page D. I will send you only the headers. Yes, my response will only contain the headers and not the actual response. That's the difference. Next is options request. Well, options and trace request and patch request, they are not supported by any browser currently. And you'll be surprised to know 16 years back, not 16 in fact, it was in 1999, it's 18 now. 18 years back when my trainer, and you know what a surprise, my trainer's name was also Vishal. Now when my trainer was training me, he told me the same thing. These three types of requests, options, trace and patch requests, they are not supported by any browser. And it's a great surprise that even after 18 years, I'm telling you the same thing. These three requests, they are not supported by any browser. They still exist in the HTTP specification, but they are not supported by any browser. Options request means the client will let the server know, okay, every browser doesn't support all the options. I'll give you an example. There are some browsers which do not support videos. There is another browser which doesn't support images. For example, Lynx browser. You've got another browser. Another browser says, I don't support. So these are all different things which normally a browser supports. But yes, if some browser doesn't support, he can make an options request to the server. That yes, these are the options I support. So you respond to me only with the content that I can understand. Now this is just like the very first day, Shubhanshu, you tell me, Vishal, I can understand English, I can understand Hindi. But if you talk to me in Tamil, I cannot understand. Well, don't worry, Shubhanshu. Even I don't know Tamil. I'm from North India. So I know the least about Tamil. Not least, in fact, zero. I only know Hindi, Punjabi and English, these three languages. Now the next one, trace request. Trace request, let's say, Shubhanshu, you want to talk to me. The very first moment you make a call to my cell phone, what do you say? When I pick up the phone, what do you say? You say hello. Now why is this trend of hello? The hello trend is because you send me the simplest message, hello, and I respond with the simplest message, hello. So when you get a hello in return of a hello, you come to know that yes, the person is able to listen to me. He is responding to me. The person is there, he is alive, and he is listening. That's great. So now we can talk. Same as a trace request. The browser sends a minimal size request that contains only a single header. There is nothing in the request. It contains only a single header. That single header request is sent to the server, and the server responds with the same header back to the client. So if the same header goes and the same header comes in response, the client comes to know the connection between the server and client. It's working. Now that's a trace request. It's not supported anywhere. Patch request. Patch request, sometimes your browser sends a request to the server for a patch. That is, to run your, let's say the server sent you some content. Okay, I'm sending you certain content to run. Now to run that content, you don't have some facility. So the browser will send a patch request to the server to send that facility to the client. Now let's say to run one of my applications that I've sent to you, you need one particular ActiveX control. So the browser will make a patch request to the server about that control, and I will respond with that particular control. Now when your browser gets that control, he is able to display that content. So my dear, even this is not supported because our browsers have inbuilt capacity of downloading these controls and everything. So these all, they lie in the only theoretically. The first 5, they're working. In fact, I should say the first 4, they're working. And out of these 4, the first 2, they are the most commonly used ones. Put and delete, they come into picture only when you're using RESTful services or you're into MVC. Yes. Now these are types of requests. Shumanshu, please let me know. Are you clear with all these, or you have a query about something? Let me know.
I can't understand the difference between get and head.
My dear, you send me a get request. Vishal, send me page D. I will send you page D. Along with that page D, I will send you some headers. Headers like which server, which protocol, which port number, what is the response size, what is the response type, all these headers. So you got the response as well as the headers. Now you make the same request again, but this time it's a head request. You say, Vishal, you have page D, send me page D, but it's a head request now. It's not a get request. So I will not send you page D, but I will send you all these headers. You will only get the headers and not the actual response. That's a head request. It's hardly used anywhere. I've not got a practical usage of this in the last 18 years. So I don't expect you'll be getting such a scenario also. But you should know the theoretical detail, I'm telling you. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, Shubhanshu, next is types of responses. Okay. What are the types of responses? Response means, yes, you send a request to the server will respond to you. Now, there can be certain hindrances. For example, Shubhanshu, you ask me a question. First of all, you ask me for something. You say, Vishal, can I have your motorbike for a day? Now this is what? This is a get request. You're asking me, you're sending me a get request. Now what are the different ways I can respond to this? Number one is success. You asked me, I give my keys. Okay, this is my bike. Take that. Please return to me tomorrow. Now that's 200 response. So 200 series means success. You get a 200, 201, 202, 203. All these responses, they mean success. Whatever you ask for, the server has done that. You send me a delete request. Vishal, delete this thing from your side. I've deleted that. Now because I deleted, I sent you 204. Whatever you asked me to do, I've done that. Now I'm not responding to you with some page. I'm only saying success. So the 20 is success. Now let's say you asked me for my motorbike. You said, Vishal, please give your bike for one day. I say, okay, Shubhanshu, I can't give it to you because I'm busy today. I need my bike. No, this is my brother's address. Okay, you can talk to him. He will give it to you. So what is this? What is this, Shubhanshu? You made a request to me, and instead of giving you what you wanted, I send you to a different page. Now you will request my brother and he will give you the bike. Now this is called redirection. 300 response. Now redirection is of two types, temporary or permanent. 301 means temporary, 302 means permanent. So if I tell you, Shubhanshu, just for today, you take the bike for my brother. After today, anytime you can ask me, I will do that. So that's what? That's a temporary redirection. It's only for today that you're going to my brother. Now onwards, I will respond to your request for motorbike. Okay, but let's say I tell you, Shubhanshu, I'm not going to give you the bike. I need it every day. Now be assured, whenever you need that, you go to my brother. So that's what? It's a permanent redirection. That is 302. Now, Shubhanshu, you say, Vishal, please give me your motorbike. I just laugh it away. Why do I laugh? Because I don't have a motorbike. You're making an invalid request. Now, this is not my fault. It's not like I don't want to give that to you. The fact is, I don't have a motorbike. How can I give that? So whose fault is that? It's your fault. You made an invalid request. Now, in terms of web server, Shubhanshu, I told you I have 26 pages, A to Z. Now, you asked me to send me the page A123. Oh, my dear, I don't have A123. I have A, I have B, I have C, till Z, I have. But the page with the name A123, I don't have that. How can I give you that? So this is 404. That is client error. Now let's say, Shubhanshu, again, you ask me for my motorbike. You say, Vishal, give me your motorbike. Shubhanshu, I want to give that to you, but you just go and try that. Now when you go and try, you find that my bike, it's not working. It's not in a working condition. So even if I want to respond to you, I can't do that. Reason is simple. Just 1 minute. Yes, buddy. The reason is simple. Whatever you ask from me, it's not working perfectly. Now, whose fault is it? Is it your fault? No, it's not your fault. It's my fault now. Because something with me, if it is not working, I'm the one to take care of that. So it's a server error. Now the last. You give me a call, you say, Vishal, I need your bike for one day. Now this time I don't say you are wrong or I'm wrong or I'm redirecting you or I'm giving it to you. Rather, you get the information. Vishal is not at home. Please talk to him tomorrow. He's not available today. Let's say one of my family members pick the phone and they say Vishal is not home today. He is not well today. He can't respond to you. So maybe my bike is available to be given, but you will not get that. Now, do you think it's server's fault? No. It's client's fault? No. Did he redirect you? No. Was the request successful? No. So it's an informational response. So sometimes we send a request to a server and the server responds like, this website is under maintenance. We are doing maintenance for the next 10 hours. The website will be functional at 12 midnight today. Now, this is not a server's fault. This is not a client's fault. It's only a information. Yes. Now, these are the types of requests and responses that you can make. Shubhanshu, understanding servlets is nothing. It's very easy. But you get to know more detailed about everything if you know HTTP in detail. I've discussed you almost everything about HTTP today. I will say almost everything, not exactly everything, because the basic nature of HTTP, that is stateless, sessionless, and connectionless, I have not discussed that yet. But there is a time constraint. I have to go for my another commitment now. So we'll meet tomorrow once again, and yes, continue with the same thing. Now, Shumanshu, one last time. Are you clear with everything that I explained today, or do you find some improvement that can be possibly done? Let me know.
It's good.
You understood everything?
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's great, buddy. So let's meet tomorrow and continue
Okay.
into the same. Fine, buddy.
Okay.
Fine. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming. Goodbye.